So you wanna be a picture book writer, then you gotta write picture books. And you're gonna need a bucket load of bright ideas for titles, plots, and hooks. If you're partial to prose or you're raring to rhyme, then repeat after me. It's a challenge, but I'm gonna tackle each story 1 month at a time with 12 by 12.
All Things Mended. It's illustrated by the amazing Nancy Whitesides, who I hope to meet in person someday. One morning, after the kerchunk of the toaster and the clink of his spoon, Cecil heard something unexpected. It was a bright, happy sound. He shuffled outside to see where it was coming from. Cecil could see Lily from next door, cartwheeling and laughing, and whoops, something shiny flew out of her pocket. It bounced off the fence and landed in his driveway. Did it break? Asked Lily. Cecil peered down with his good eye and nodded. Lily was quiet. Cecil wished she would laugh again. I will try to mend it, he offered. Come back this afternoon. Cecil searched for his tools. After he found them, he set to work. He tinkered with the tiny gears until tick, 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 a satisfying sound filled the air. When Lily returned, Cecil handed her the pocket watch. Lily held it to her ear. Then she smiled her biggest smile. Thank you. Cecil twice tapped his heart. You're welcome. Later, as Cecil salted slices of fresh tomato, he thought about Lily and her pocket watch and her big smile. He had forgotten how much he liked fixing things. The next morning, Cecil found a boy waiting by the fence. I'm Lily's friend, Alfred. He held up a broken music box. Without the music, it's just a box. Cecil nodded. Come back in an hour. Cecil took out his tools. He tweaked and twisted until plink, papa-pling, a jaunty tune sprang to life. Alfred was delighted. Cecil hummed that same tune as he hung a freshly painted sign on his fence. Cecil's Repair Shop, Small Things Mended.
There's so many things that I love about this, but one of the questions that's already come in and that we talked about a little bit in the green room, so to speak, is, we're always told, or the conventional wisdom around picture book writing is you should really have a child protagonist, and that child should solve their own problem. And actually both of your picture books, your main character is an older gentleman. So I thought, why don't you just talk to us about that a little bit?
I know my kids, we joke that I think somewhere deep down I must be a lonely old man because I love these characters in both of my books. I know I broke all the rules with this book. I mean, I do know that. I didn't really think about it, to be honest. I had the idea for him. I didn't know what his backstory was. I didn't even know what the story was going to be when I sat down to write the draft. I just had this very strong feeling of him, and he felt very comforting to me in some way. And I wanted to capture him on the page. So I didn't really second guess it, I guess. And I think, kids are so smart and they are so in tune with so many types of emotion. They just don't always have the vocabulary to express it or to process it. But I do think that, if you can find the real part of any emotion and capture it in a way that feels authentic, then that's really the most important part about character development. And so he felt so real to me that, I was conscious of having enough kids in the story. And so, if I'd written the story about Cecil and an adult neighbor and then another adult neighbor, and no matter how, compellingly I wrote them, that would be a very boring book for kids. So I was conscious of that part, but not about making him the main character. I didn't.
Right. Well, I
And-
think one of the things in this book and also in Ivor, and you guys, if you haven't read Ivor and Ellsworth, you really need to go get it, is they both have very childlike sensibilities. What kid doesn't love to take things apart and put them back together again and kind of tinker around and fix things, first of all? And secondly, the things that he fixes are all very childlike. The watch is about the most mature one, but then when with the music box, I was like, oh, I had one of those, as probably many kids in our generation did. But then this elephant, and I just have to ask about the eye. Like, it's such a specific detail on this character, your main character, Cecil. But then to have a girl, this is the kind of thing that you think you know where it's going. So the girl shows up, the elephant is missing an eye. He, relates to it. And it turns out that that's not the issue at all. And I felt like you just turned the whole story turned on itself at that point. How did you come up with that? Did Cecil have injured or some have the eye issue in your mind? Or did that kind of come as the drafting process with the elephant? Like, I just need to know how that happened.
Yeah, I didn't have it in my mind. I wrote Cecil peered down with his good eye and nodded, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like, I don't know what that's about, but I'm just going to go with it. And so it was just part of the really like the flow of the drafting process when I wasn't trying to overthink it. And then the elephant, I also was surprised by that turn, by Daisy's broken heart, and I wrote it, and then I promptly burst into tears.
Yeah, right.
I was like, like, I had to take a couple minutes, and
Right.
it just killed me.
Oh,
But
it does. You're like, ooh, like I said, the whole story changes in that moment. You've led us down this primrose path. And then what I love about that is we can see Cecil opening up a bit already, a little bit, at first. And then he was like, he remembered how he liked fixing things. And then, he opens, he takes a couple more things and he puts up his little sign. And so it feels like we're lulled into this sense of comfort that he's opening up. And then that happens. And it's like you've taken us almost back to the beginning again. It's masterful.
Do it together so never you fear. It's a handy little way to help you kick into gear. You're amazing, exciting. Look out, 'cause you're writing 12 by 12.
12 manuscripts.
12 by 12.
12 picture books.
12 by 12 this year.